are talking all things going live with ease and confidence. Let me know if you have any questions. This is my go live with ease, with confidence. I want to make sure you are able to go live and not have any fear. I want you to be nervous, scared, shy. I just want you to go live and feel confident that you can do it. And then ultimately you build your community. So it's all about mindset. This is what this conversation is about, making sure you have the right mindset to do this work. So let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate you all joining. We're going to get started in just a second and get to chatting and talking. And my moderator is Yes Michelle Crochets. I appreciate you being here, friend, if you're able to join us. And then we will get started. Thank you all for coming in. Let's see, I need to go to my other channels. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you all. Let's get started in a second. I'm going to go live a little sooner. We're going to see if I can go live and be in and out because I have my 6:30 where I'm going to be chatting to my subscribers on TikTok, and we're going to talk there about going live. And then I will, so I'll try to end this a little earlier. I'll try to be in and out probably within, we'll see, probably within 90 minutes at most. Okay, and the screen is refreshed. Let's see if we can. Okay. We'll talk all things going live in a second. We'll go live here. One second. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining. Let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much. This is my go live with confidence and ease. Feel free to come on in. Make sure you like the live. Make sure you comment. Say hello. How you doing? I appreciate you being here. Let me know where you're from. And then if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you click the subscribe button, I'm going to go to your channel and I'll click your subscribe as well. Make sure you leave a comment so I know who you are. So we can grow. This is our growth season. So let me know if you have any questions. Again, this is my go live with ease and confidence. I want to make sure your mindset is right for this type of connection to your community. So a lot of this is about how do you connect with people who are looking for your expertise. You either have education, experience, or expertise that you're offering. So you are bringing that to this space and people are going to grow and connect with you. So feel free to comment. Let me know if you are here. Say hello. And then let me know where you're from as well. So go ahead and feel free to comment. If my moderator is able to come, her name is Yes Michelle Crochets. And so feel free to connect with her. Again, this is our growth season. So I want to make sure you're growing and this channel is growing as well. So, and if you have questions about going live, I did a live chat just for my YouTube exclusive. And I just talked about the journey. I gave a couple different tips in terms of making sure you have your subscriber count, which is 50, a minimum of 50 to go live. Also making sure you're intentional about talking to your audience and making sure that they understand how to support your live. And then ultimately, for your channel to really grow, you need to make sure you're engaging with other content. Okay? People miss that because YouTube obviously is where videos are sitting, but you want to make sure you are connecting with influencers, people who are in your niche, and you want to make sure you're engaging in that content because that will give you visibility. One thing is going to give you visibility, but it's also going to connect you with people who are looking for your topic because they're into that channel, they're engaging, they're connecting. They're thinking strategically about growth strategy, and those are your viewers. So you want to make sure you're in those chats, and so people can connect with you there. So that's a growth strategy. I want you to be intentional. I talk about TikTok all the time about your engagement in other people's content, other people's lives. The same thing here. So if you're interested in going live, you're here for a reason. So I want to make sure you are engaging. So go ahead and let me know you're here. Say hello in the chat, and then put a comment in. And then if you are also connecting, go ahead and hit the like button so we can connect. And then don't forget to subscribe. That's the other thing. So as you guys know, Natty Ned, how are you? Good afternoon, everyone. How are you, friend? I think that's the Natty Ned, ain't it? Natty Ned. Good to see you on here. Yes, it is you. How are you, friend? Yes, so I'm about to go live on TT. You know, I'm about to do it. You said yes. I'm about to do my TikTok live, but yes. So you know, I co-stream, so I do the live here and the live there. Let me ask this: do you have at least 50 subscribers? You and if you do, I know you do the morning workouts. I think that's what you do. That's so awesome. Yes. So I'm on two devices. I'm on my tablet. Oh no, not yet. I'm here. Okay. Well, that's the whole point. So what I give is tips. So when you go live on TT, tell people to come over here on TikTok. So tell people to come over here and also subscribe to your channel. So hopefully you get, you know, obviously over time, maybe if you're doing that daily for the next month and you are, so the beauty of this format too is that you can record your live. So this is recorded. So this live session is recorded and it's available for people to then go and go watch the playlist. So if you have videos that you're doing, or if you're doing a live stream, you can have the whole class that you're doing also recorded for people to see. Okay, so that's a good thing. He said, okay, we'll do. Thank you. You're welcome. So yeah, that's how you're gonna build it. It'll take a month or two. I've been doing this. I got live access right around March, and so now we're in mid-June, and so I started at 50 in March or so. So it took me probably starting in January of the new year. It's like a newer account. And then with the growth and people connecting, people like you that have connected, then I had started going live at 50. And now I'm at over like 370, it's like 377 or so, 78, somewhere along there. The requirement is at least 50, right? Yes, so you have to have 50 subscribers. Now, and this is what I shared yesterday, getting subscribers is not an easy feat because a lot of people, when they come over to YouTube, they're just looking at videos really quick, swiping in and swiping out, watching something and maybe moving on. Or they may kind of get into a rabbit hole and watching multiple videos, but they never truly engage. So they just, you know, they're just watching. So you need them to actually engage by clicking your subscriber button and then ultimately, you know, being someone who's viewing your content. So that's the other thing. So YouTube is based on watch hours. So for you to grow and truly monetize over on this side on YouTube, you got to have the watch hours for your content. 3,000 hours is provisional with 500 subscribers, and then 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours is the full monetization. He said, okay, this is a whole new realm I just got. I know. But I tell people to get over here also, so that you can obviously start growing your channel because it's a marathon. It's not fast paced. You're doing it slowly, but you're just getting into it and you're doing it. So once you get those 50 subscribers, just cut the camera on, start co-streaming, start the conversations. There's some things you need to do to optimize your profile. My moderator, she's not here now. Her name is Yes Michelle Crochets. She's actually in the IG chat too, so she'll send videos over there and tell people to come over and connect. So she is really good at coaching you. So if you have questions, there's some things you want to do to optimize your page and get things up and running. But for the most part, it's very much about you just starting. And starting and staying consistent. Those are the two things. Oh yes, I've seen her. Yeah, good to know. Yeah. So if you ever wanted to do like a quick discovery conversation, if you're really ready, again, there's some videos out there, but for the most part, she's good with answering those questions that you wouldn't even know to do because it's just so different than TikTok. So that's what I teach. I want to make sure you guys are getting um, the opportunity to grow, and growth comes from engaging in a couple different the other platforms too. Instagram, I need to get over there. I said I was going to go live over there. I said I was going to start the process because it really is another area to think about, especially when it comes to Meta. I'm just not totally into the short form content. So here I could just talk. I like the live stream format. So maybe I'll go over there and go live, but we'll see. But I'm gonna transition to TikTok. I'm gonna do my little hello and get started, and make sure that I am chatting it up and talking with folks. And TikTok has not been very nice to me lately. So we're just gonna keep showing up. That's what I'm gonna do. Keep showing up. It is not going to win. I am gonna keep showing up. Make sure that I am here. So hold on one second. It is. Thought I was about to do more. I guess. He said, I'm actually on here getting my music playlist together for my live in a few, so I'm heading out. Thank you so much for being here, friend. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, coming on in to TikTok. Thank you so much for joining the live. You guys know I am here co-streaming, so that's what I'm doing. I'm talking on both areas, but I am here for you. Let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate you all joining. This is Dr. Lisa Lantra Income. Cynthia, how are you? Brian, how are you doing? Latrell, how you doing? Nika Grace, let me check my volume. Oh, it's so loud. You guys, when you guys come in, that's my way of checking my sound system to see how loud it is. How you doing, Coach Crystal? Thank you so much for following. Mark, thank you for joining. Eunice, how are you, friend? Kim, thank you for joining as well. So come in, friends. We are going to talk all things going live with confidence and ease. I don't want you to be scared, nervous, shy. My introverts, come on in. We're going to talk all things. How you doing, Nika? Appreciate you. Thank you for Eunice for celebrating level 5. Congratulations, friend. Appreciate you coming in, getting that daily heart rate. Suddenly, Susan, how is everything going? Thank you so much for joining. I was talking about you earlier today too, Susan. I had someone who came up in my box. She was from New York as well, and was having problems with TikTok Shop. So I thought of you. Thank you all for coming in, Rebecca. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate everybody coming into the live. Thank you so much. Hello, Susan. Thank you for that daily heart me. See your friend. I appreciate you all coming in to join. Camillos, thank you so much. Hello, friend. Yeah, I had a guest that came, someone who came up and they were talking about having problems with TikTok Shop. Now, what we learned is that they started their account when they were on vacation in the Caribbean. And so, because of that, their VPN essentially is connected to that particular island and not in the U.S. So they're gonna have to wait until they can actually. She has issues with it was issues with shop, but they were from New York. So I was like, well, New York shouldn't have issues. She was at first the question was posed as if that it was New York maybe had different boroughs that didn't allow TikTok Shop. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. But I said, I know suddenly Susan's from New York and she has a page. I was thinking of you, but it turned out she started her account when she was on vacation. And I had my friend when I went on vacation back in March. She started her account and she got a similar error message that her whole account was in Spanish essentially. So she's like, well, what can I do with this? I don't speak Spanish. So she had to wait for like 30 days before she can change it over to the VPN in the US. So that's what this person is going to have to do. Hello, friends. Come on in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming to the channel, friends. I appreciate you all on the YT as well as the TikTok. Appreciate you all being here. Michael, thank you for joining. All of you are coming in. Taylor, how are you, friend? Come on in. Thank you for joining. We're going to get chatting. So let me know. This is my Go Live with Ease and Confidence. I titled it Don't Be Scared, because I know some of my friends are scared. Susan, you better give me your testimony. So you've been going live kind of pretty regularly. Hello, Taylor. How are you, friend? You've been going pretty regularly, and you were my person. You were like, you do a mindset conversation. That was what, like 2 weeks ago? And how has it been? You said yes. How has it been? Or do you still get the nerves? Give us the tea. Let us know how it's been for you. And you're welcome to come up if you're available as well. But I guess I wanted to make sure that we were, normalizing. It's better. That's good. That's good. It's better. What will happen, and this is how you doing, Alex? Thank you so much for being here. What will happen? I mean, it takes time to get used to going live. It takes time for you to feel, like the nerves of seeing the countdown come up, three, two, one, and then going live. But as you do it, and I tell you all the time, practice makes progress. You get comfortable. You get at ease. Good afternoon. How are you, Soul Vibes Radio? Hello, friend. You get at ease. So it gets better. I just want you to know it doesn't happen for a long time. She said, "You're a natural." Okay, look at you. So you've been to the room. You said, "I look forward to it now." Look at you. That's what it's all about. I love that. You said, "I look forward to it." That's how it is for me. I mean, it is kind of one of those things where if I was to say I'm not gonna say the A word, but I think I do have a slight problem now, y'all. I'm just gonna say something. if if people were crying and stuff and the app goes away and all that stuff, I don't know if I would shed a tear, but I would feel a certain way, and I would have to figure out what's my backup plan. It might be the YT. Y'all might see me on the YT a whole lot more because I am so used to this. It is one of those things when you start doing it, you just get accustomed to it. Dr. Lisa, hope your day is amazing as you. Thank you so much, Lisa, fellow Lisas in the room. I appreciate you being here. Sometimes not much engagement. Okay. So I just continue running my mouth. That's it. Just keep talking. Just keep talking. You'll get there. It comes with time. I mean, you've been going, has it been 3 weeks? I don't think it's been 3 weeks. I think you're probably right at finishing up week 2, or maybe two and right shy of 2 weeks. So I'm thinking you're close to that. Like if you were to count it, are you at 14 days yet? Let me know if you've done live that many times yet. Because I will say it takes, and obviously I said this earlier at the 10 o'clock. I would like to think it takes a month, 3 weeks to a month. By week 3, you should be seeing that transition, more engagement, more numbers. How you doing, Sultry Nana? Appreciate you being here. However, how you doing, Alex? Thank you so much. However, with the algorithm acting as funny as it is acting lately, I don't know. I think there's something to be said that it's not you, it's the algorithm. Okay, friend? That's what I think. It's not us, it's the algorithm. This is week 3. I did change the time to 8 p.m., so an hour earlier. Hoping helps with the numbers. Okay, blessings and peace, Dr. Lisa and fam. Appreciate your friend. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Tricia. How are you, friends, coming on in? Thank you so much. So here's what I will say. The time may be helpful. When you're just growing your community, hello, friends. When you're just growing your community, whatever you can do to be consistent, whatever you can do to be consistent is going to help with people knowing when to expect you. Thank you so much for all the shares. So that's going to help. I would say, however, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. Like I said, the algorithm's acting really weird lately, so I don't know if it is something a time difference will help. I think it is just the way things are right now, as we're easing up to this transition that may happen. So there's different schools of thoughts about what's going to happen in the next week or so. Hope you have a great day today. Keep shining bright. You are doing a great. Look at you. Thank you, Brian, coming up in here with the positivity. Appreciate you, friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the encouragement. That's what it's about. Keep doing it. Stay in the course. That's what I'm trying to say. So stay in the course. Keep going. But here's what I will say. There's some things I'm hearing when it comes to what's going to happen on the 18th. That's essentially what we're looking at, the 18th, maybe the 19th, depending on, it's one of two of those days where a decision has to be made. There is a thought that, an extension will happen again. That's what I'm hearing, and one of the online media people mentioned this. So an extension probably will happen again. Obviously with the new, how you doing, Donna? Thank you so much. Obviously with the new conversation with China and just thinking through what is potential in terms of those negotiations. Things seem like there's a nice favorable term with negotiations, so that we may see, um, either an extension or an announcement on if there is to be a sale. The impression is that there are companies out there that are actively looking and interested. So there's, you fill in the blank company. It could be any number of companies. Because it's funny when you look at the algorithm, you see kind of sprinklings and remindings of um, multiple competitors. For lack of better words, I see little things that put me to mind of the A to Z place. So like if they were going to do that, that would make sense with the shop side of the house. So I'm seeing some little tea leaves for that. I see some tea leaves for the FB and the YT and that owner. It's just some things that you're noting. It's kind of like, what are y'all thinking? What's going on? But it could be any number of options. The search engine, we could think about the big YT's owner. So that could be an option. It's just so many options that any one of those players could do it. And then you also have some of the big billionaires out there who are saying, oh, they've had an interest as well. So it's just interesting. We'll see what happens in the next week or so. But I think what I've noted is that they're definitely trying to clean up the image. Thank you so much, Queens Girl. Appreciate you. They're definitely trying to clean up the image. So the image of this being a place where people are producing high quality content, that's come up quite a bit. I'm doing my sub only live today, so I'll share some more information. I gave a little snippet of some information that's been coming out about live. So I'll share it in a second just so that you guys know if anybody, and we can continue the conversation when I do the sub only live. But recognizing that they're really trying to clean up the image, and they're wanting to make sure that this is a place where businesses can come. I'm on the side of TikTok where a lot of business conversations happening. I see that in my thread, in my feed, which I haven't changed because obviously I talk about business strategy here and I talk about thinking about digital marketing as a business model and just understanding how to do this. So what happens in my feed is I get a lot of those conversations and I see the TikTok business side. So TikTok shop for businesses. So I see a lot of that. Not that I have a business account, but I just see it because of, I guess, my live stream and what I search and engage with. And the goal is really to promote this as a place for businesses to come and find creators, affiliates, UGC relationships, and partnerships with brands. All of them come into this space to connect. And they're really promoting TikTok One. They're promoting, obviously, TikTok Shop. And so they want more brands to come to TikTok Shop and promote their businesses or their products, as well as connect with affiliates. So you're going to see a lot of that over the next, if everything goes smoothly, a lot of that's going to help to transform this space. And so you're going to see a lot of companies flood in. It'll be interesting what happens on the 18th, because to me, that's the upside of this, like having that type of connection that's happening and increase. Yes, more and more brands are bringing their advertising in. Yes, that's it. Yeah. So I don't think it's going away, because I think what they're doing is trying to create a space, a marketplace, for lack of a better word, for these companies to really look at TikTok as their go-to for making sure their products, their advertising is done effectively. So that means that they have to work on the creator side too. Make sure high quality content, make sure that this is not perceived to be an app for kids. And if that was the market and the messaging that happened, that got us here, they're trying to change that notion. Like, that is not what this is all about. I think eventually that's pretty much all it will be. We will see. What you mean, in terms of it being a marketplace? That's true. I could see that. I mean, it could be. Yeah. You know what? Yes, I think so. It could be. I think that will be a tough transition, though. Thank you so much, Felicia. Thank you, and welcome to the live. I think that'll be a tough transition to do that 100%. Hey, Lisa. How you doing, friend? Um, Only because, I mean, you do have people who are interested in TikTok Shop. Don't get me wrong. Such a lot of money flowing through. Yes, it is. It is. That is very true. You do have a place for people to shop, But to a certain extent, with anything in business, you need your consumers. You do need your consumers, and you need your people who are going to help with curating, okay, and supporting, promoting the features and benefits of products. So you got to have that healthy balance. So you got to bring people in the app and promise them a high quality experience and give them an opportunity to become a creator. That's true, yeah. So to be a creator as well as maybe even do live streams. So you got to give a little bit of something for everybody. It's going to always have to be that. But you almost have to make sure that people feel comfortable and safe coming here. Some guy slid into my live yesterday and gifted a rose. Did he really? Need the influencers. You do. You need the influencers. You need the influencers. You're funny, Susie. You said he gifted a rose. Was that? Hello, Doris. How are you? Yeah, you definitely need the influencers. You're gonna need the affiliates, the people who are doing the shop stuff. You're gonna need the content creators. You're gonna need those people. People need to feel like there's a space for them. There's a home. The algorithm is going to feed them what they want to see, and that content's going to come through. And then on top of that, if you want to shop, you can shop. If you want to go live, you can go live. If you want to just view TikTok TV or TikTok live streams, you'll have all that. So it is going to be a place for everybody. So I don't think it's going to only be for businesses, but businesses, just like any advertisers, they're going to want to make sure that they are able to reach their audience, their intended customer. So they're making space for that, or maybe more ads will happen in videos and content, especially the viral content. So you'll see more of that ad space being sold. Um, Let me do. So true. Yes. Then he was gone. I said thanks. Sorry. Oh, that's funny. That was kind of creepy, but yeah, it's funny. So I'm sending you a rose. Let me send you a rose real quick. I'm gone. Bye. In spite of I haven't tried. Thank you so much. uh, I think I do need to block. I was like, what is that? I was like, am I understanding the question? Yeah, thank you so much. You guys are sweet. Y'all said just block them, block them. Felicia, I love that. You said just block them, Dr. Lisa. I don't understand that. I was like, huh? I had to read it a couple times. I was like, is he talking about my hair or his hair? What did he say? It's like, whose hair are we talking about? My hair? It's like, how do you say my hair don't look dry? I was sure reading the comment. If you could have saw my face round up, did it? I had to read. I was like, maybe he's talking about his own hair. No, I think he's talking about me. Ain't nobody got it. Ain't nobody got time for that. I know. Ain't nobody got time for that. I was a little slow in the uptake, y'all. I apologize. I was a little slow. Y'all know my head is on swivel for the block and the mute. The mute and the block. But yes, it took me back for a second. I was like, well, wait a minute. That took me entirely too long for you, Felicia. Felicia's like, block them. Block them, Dr. Lisa. Block them. You said it wasn't too bad, was it? I think he was trying to be, I don't know. Yesterday's comment threw me off because I was like, okay, I gotta block you. You gotta go because I got what you said. Now him, he was like, your hair is dry. So go. Okay, friends. TikTok gave us a flash go. Let me see what it is. TikTok don't do the Daily Heart Me, is it? It is the Daily Heart Me. We'll put it up there. TikTok is extra. That's okay. That's okay. But I appreciate you all being here. Y'all looking out for me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, you all. So yeah, so we definitely want to make sure that we're appreciate you for the rose. Um, Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Sometimes, yeah, as you guys can tell, the trolls you got to get rid of. They come in, and there. And that's the thing about the app too. So here's what's going to happen. Um, Now it ain't gonna stop the trolls, but hopefully it does correct some of the behaviors, the bad behaviors and stuff, and how people conduct themselves. And especially if they're minors. So who knows if that was a minor or not. But TikTok there's from what the tea leaves, what my one of my discords I'm in still, it said that TikTok is going to make live streams they're going to automatically turn on the audience control. So we were talking about this earlier. Nika Grace, you made a great point in the sense that if they turn it on, they're going to have to make sure that people who are here viewing are verified in terms of their age. So you have to make sure when you come onto the app that there's going to be some update that maybe they push out to make sure you are in fact 18 years of and older. I think, let me say this, I think they have to do that anyway when you think about shop, because you can't shop on this app unless you're 18 years or older. So to me, that's something that they probably should have been doing anyway, just to make sure people who are buying things here are of age. And so that is something where, how you doing, Happy? How's everything going? Thank you so much for liking and sharing the live, friends. I appreciate the popular votes, Yolanda. Appreciate all the support. So yeah, so they're gonna make it so that it's going to be a forced. You said yes, absolutely. Says yeah, yeah. I think the verifying will take a minute. There's gonna be a period of transition. Yes, yeah. I mean, because people have been on here for a while, and you're gonna see some some attrition from it too, where people just leave, because maybe they're not of age, or maybe they don't have verification of ID, or whatever the case may be. So it'll be interesting how this plays out. And then also when you think about people who are, the VPN is from another country and they're using, different countries' access. So all that could be part of it too. Um, but when everything's said and done, it appears that they're doing that as a safeguard for young people coming on this app and being able to engage with these lives and sit in on them. And some of the lives are a little extra, depending on how people, some of them are a little bit more provocative and things that they're saying and doing. And so they're going to make it so that those lives are automatically set, every live is automatically set to 18 years and older. And then in turn, if you want to co-host, because that's the whole thing, it blocks you from being able to have a co-host when you set it to 18 years and older. So if you want to do that, you actually would have to toggle it off. So that's going to be something you do intentionally. Now, what it does though is that it sets you up potentially for, making sure your live is appropriate for whoever comes into that live. So if you are going to have a live that is age appropriate for all viewers, you got to make sure you do that. And if it's not, then you got to turn on the audience control. Okay. So that's just something where people are going to have to really think about, okay, who can come in my live? What type of topic am I presenting? What are we doing that we're having co-hosts? So I don't know how that's going to play out. It'll be interesting because I could see there being lives where you want to co-host and still have a more mature audience. But in order to do that, you got to toggle that button off. And I think that for me, that's like, okay, no, you shouldn't be able to. You should be able to still set your audience control even if you have a co-hosting, and you want to do the co-hosting feature. The other thing I will say, hello friends, how y'all coming in? Elle, thank you so much for being here. See you, friend. And so the other thing I will say is that if you're doing the whole battling and all that type of activity, then again, you got to turn it off. So you're going to have to make sure you turn it off for that reason. Because a lot of those are the co-hosting feature. Some people do the box and they'll have guests up. So the box battles where they have the guests up in the box. But a lot of people will do it as a co-host, where it's head to head. And people are in their room. What is the difference between co-host and having guests? Oh, okay. So co-host, you know, suddenly Susan. So when you came up to my live before, you came up as a guest. So I just hit the guest button and there's a box that pops up and you talking. Okay, you're coming up talking as a guest. Co-host is that I actually press the button and I press the co-host button. So you'll see it on your live when you go live next time. You'll see host. You press that, and that is actually the person is still technically in their room. They're with their room and their community, and you're with yours. And so depending on how they started their live, but yes, they are still in their room. So you guys are doing your live together. So that's what's happening. Norma, how you doing, friend? Come on in. So the lives where you see multiple people on the screen, that is, those are typically guests. Yeah, co-host. That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. Somebody tell me if you could have more than two people, more like you and another person in a co-host. Like, could you have multiple co-hosts? I think you can, only because of the group battles. I think there is a way to do having 2 or 3 people, but don't quote me on that. I may be wrong about that. Anybody in the chat know the answer to that? Is co-host only one additional person that can come in? So it's just a twosome. Could you have a threesome? Could you have a foursome? Like, could you have multiple people that are co-hosts, meaning that they're in their live at the same time and you're in your live, but your rooms come together, and so you guys have the split screen. Um, Otherwise, I know you can have up to, it's either 9 or 12, the boxes that you can have for guests coming up and being a guest in your life. So, anybody know the answer to that, go ahead and put that in the chat. But beyond that, I mean, you just gotta be, hello, friend. Appreciate you coming. You said, I believe so that you can have more than two people, more than you and another person. You're thinking it could be three. Thank you so much, Queen B. Appreciate your friend. Um, and again, if you can, it's a newer feature, multiple co-hosts. Okay. Oh, it's a newer feature because I believe with the box battles, they rolled that out, if I'm not mistaken, where people are in their rooms. And so with the box battles, they rolled that out where you are actually in your room and people are up on the screen. So I believe that's why it's multi-guest now. Thank you so much. Hi, all. Appreciate you. So, um, so with that change, you just got to know that TikTok is gonna have to be a little bit more conscious of, or you as a live host are gonna have to be more conscious. Hello, Adventure Isabella. How are you, friend? Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you all coming in. Make sure you guys, hello everyone. Make sure you are liking the live, tapping the screen, sharing it out. We'll see if we can get some more of our friends in the room. I typically share out my live as well. Let me make sure I share it out. Doing well, thank you. Appreciate your friend. So this is my go live and ease with ease and confidence. So I want to make sure you guys are feeling comfortable, understanding maybe some things that's going to happen soon with the live. I'm going to talk more with my subscribers at 6:30. There's a couple other things I wanted to bring up, but I want you guys to make sure that you are getting as much knowledge as possible. TikTok is doing a great job, just so that you guys know, they're doing a great job of creating more video content, more transparency. I think that's the word I would use. Being transparent in terms of how to navigate the space. It is a lot to digest. It's a lot of information, but at the same time, it is there for us. I just, it was just a matter of, before it wasn't, it was kind of like urban legend. You never knew. People would say stuff or people would do stuff. But now it's a little bit more transparent. That's good. They had, yes, it is, yeah. And so when you think about the Creator Academy, that's really good. They updated the Live Academy here. So there's more videos and stuff for us to review and take a look at and just kind of get an understanding of how to go live. And it seems to be very timely in terms of how they are producing more articles and other videos to support people as they're learning on the app. So you're seeing content that's created that was for June content, March, April, May. So yeah, all that's out there. It's so peaceful in here. You said it's so peaceful in here. Thank you. I guess isn't it peace? Thank you. I appreciate that. That warmed my heart. Thank you so much. You said it's so peaceful in here. In the other rooms, it's not peaceful. It's like a lot of noise, a lot of stuff going on. I mean, everybody does their room differently. I reflected about what I said earlier because, at the end of the day, it sure is. Thank you. Yes, it is. Appreciate you all. I said this earlier, and I had to kind of go back and think about it and just make sure I kind of give a little bit more context. You're very welcome. Thank you. And your voice is also very comforting. Appreciate you. It's a jungle out there. You said these TikTok streets, it's a jungle. You said it's the Wild Wild West, Dr. Lisa. You ain't been out there. I love it. Oh, Lord, I love it. Can you do multiple guests on a live? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. So let me just show you how the boxes will look. And so it just depends on how you set up your room. So you can set up your room to look like this. Is it going to do it? I just pressed the button. It's not going to do it. I wonder if my sticker is going to make it not do it. But let's see. Let me do it again. Yeah, I get it. Oh, it says, oh, that's interesting. It said when a guest connects, the layout will show. That's the first time. It usually puts me in the box. Interesting. TikTok, what you doing? You're doing something extra. Okay, there's that box. Then the other layout I pressed a second ago was where everybody, it's like, I think it's nine boxes that show up. But this is one feature, and then people come in and it can be up as a guest. And then there's the feature like here. So you can have also just two people. The three of us is gonna do it. No, it didn't do it again. I guess if people show up, it'll show up that way. And then this is still the traditional way. I like showing the traditional way because I can see the chat. And I tell people that that's a my issue and problem. It's not everybody else's. Because at the end of the day, when I see the chat's moving and stuff, I try to hone in and I try to see you guys because I don't use a moderator here, but I like seeing the chat. So when I have guests, I feel like my attention is directed to the person in the box. So I just want to make sure I see it. So I usually keep it this view. But if you guys are interested in coming up, I'm open to people coming up in the box. It really is. I feel like I found a safe space. Did you really? Yeah, you got to be careful on these streets. You guys are funny. Okay, so you just invite one at a time. Max is 9. Susan, you are more than welcome to send you an invite. You are more than welcome to come up. We can have a bigger conversation if you guys want. I'll change it to this view. But yeah, it just depends on how you want to do it. If you want to have people come up and it depends on your layout. So the layout I had before, so what I'm pressing is that I'm actually going into the guest feature. I'm clicking that. There's a little settings wheel in the right upper corner. You click that wheel, you could change your layout. Okay, I can't find it. It says, okay, that's fine. I'll let it down because, like I said, it's hard for me to see the chat when I have this format. But anybody, if you guys want to just message, you can let me know. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to have you all come up. But yeah, so with the guests, you can have that grid if you want to start there. You can have the grid if you want to start there. You can easily have people come up and pop in and out. Sultry Nana, are you still in the room? I think you keep yours on that setting on default. Do you? Do you still do that? There's some people who do. They keep it on default as, hey, come up, come connect with me. Anybody who come in the room, that's the expectation. Miss Darlene, how are you, friend? So that's the expectation that they can just come in and connect, and we grow and build community, and that is totally fine. So you'll see that default setting for certain rooms. Now, there's other people who, like I said, kind of like you say, yes, you do. Okay. And I mean, I guess out of curiosity, you keep it that way because, more or less, you said more or less, because you keep it that way because is that just the thing, the thinking that if you want to come up and chat, you can always, you're welcome to come up and chat. TikTok wants that, and I want to say that I want to make sure I underscore that because that is not that's something that they want to make sure that they're cultivating your room. What you're doing is cultivating a space for community and connection and having guest stuff and doing all that because again that makes people TikTok stay here. Okay, so that is not done by default. It's done by design, so it's intentional. Awesome, yeah. So that is intentional. Now, people like me, I probably need to do a little bit more of that. Like I said, when it comes to the way my chat operates, I like seeing your comments. That's kind of the way I operate. But there are people who keep the guests on. People can come in. Now the downside of that is that you got to be careful because if you turn it on and people can have access to your room or come into your room or at least request to be invited, you got to be willing to get what you get. So you might get some people who are not not necessarily who you want in your room. So you got to be careful with that. I've seen that go wrong as well, where people come up and they're like coming up to chat and they're not. they're not. They're not really. They're really trolling essentially. So you just got to be careful. What I was sharing earlier about the audience control, what will happen as a result? Thank you so much for the roses. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, Miss Darlene. What will happen? I am discerning about who comes up on my boxes. Okay, there we go. That's good. So are you able to monitor because they have to invite themselves to come in? You got to accept the invitation. I think that's what happens. It's not something where they can pop up. I do believe you can turn it on where they automatically, if they click in, they can automatically come into the room or come into your box. So they have to have at least 200 followers. There we go. Okay, that's good. Exactly. Oh, you're saying they have to have 200 followers in general for your room, or I think that's the case for TikTok too. They gotta have live access. I know that much. Before you can become a guest, you gotta have live access. So that is something you want to keep in mind. So you said I swiped away. Okay. Yeah. So you gotta have live access. If you're gonna come up in someone's box, that's what you want to have. You want to have live access. Um, the other thing I will say is the people who with this audience control, people who are coming up that are popping up on your screen and they want to co-host and you have to decline it, you know that message that pops up and you have to click accept or decline, you won't get that anymore. Okay? Because essentially they can't request to come in your room because of the audience control. So that won't be available to them unless you turned it off. So that's how that goes, unless you turned it off. Susan, I'm going to accept your invitation, friend. There you go. So I have it in this format where you're lower. Let's see. I will. Now this is the layout. We're side by side. Hello. How you doing, friend? So we're side by side. Can you guys hear me? I sure can. Thank you so much for being here. So you came up. Yes, thank you for inviting me up. I knew I was sharing so many questions in the chat. Because I had this idea, like I had messaged you yesterday with regard to, subscription benefits. Yeah. I was thinking something along the lines of having for subscribers only, like maybe like accountability lives where I can have multiple people or multiple guests in a live at a time. And so I just was not sure like whether that was to be done using the guest feature or if it had to be the co-host feature and, what the rules are around that. So right here, I just changed the grid. So this is what it could look like. So you could have it so that people can come up this way. And so this is 9 boxes that you see. How do you do that side by side? Dr. Lisa, you know what, Ms. Darlene, it is one of the other, so there's when you click guest, there's a little wheel, like the settings type wheel, that circle wheel. You click that, and at the top of it, you'll see where you could change the different layouts. This is the second option where it's like boxes next to each other. This is the last option, the one I have on here now. This is the grid that has the 9 box grid. And then I think there's 2 others that are sitting in there. There's a total of 5 different boxes. The very first one is the traditional one where you just see my face. Yep, so yeah, you could definitely do that. With your, so it's 9. 9 boxes. I think that's the max. I have to go back and look at it, but I think the grid you can do is 9. Let me just check and see since I said that. Yeah, so it's 8 and 1 for you. So that's how it works. So it's 8 box grid. So what I was going to share with you, my very first live, my sub only live, my subscriber only live, I did this, and I was in the same mindset as you, like, oh, it would be great if I can have us come in and so we're on the grid, we're chatting, subscribers, is building community, and I think it was a great idea. It just became where it didn't, in my opinion, I couldn't see the chat. Not everybody could come up. There were people who were in the chat trying to communicate, and it's harder to see the chat. As you can tell, I don't know if you see the way the chat is like really minimized. And so you kind of missed out and alienated people who were in the chat. And so for that reason, I said, you know what? I changed it to this format so I can see the chat a little bit better. And so I usually I'll have it like this, or I have it where you guys can come up individually. So it just allows me to engage with the chat a little bit more. Or if you change it to this grid, this is the other one, where you're side by side with people. Yeah. So just something to think about. In my message back to you, I was more or less sharing that as you're thinking about, and we can talk about this sub only live too, but as you're thinking about having subscribers, just think about what does it mean to scale it and offer services that are scalable services. So if you start off with sub only live and chat and post, those things you can have as the minimal. And then if you want to add other services and things that you can do to support your subscribers, that becomes next level. Okay.
Right, right. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's it. All right. No more questions. You're good.
Yeah.
All right.
No, no, I think that was it. I didn't know that the guests needed to have 200 followers. That I was not aware of. So,
No, no. I just want to make sure I express that. I think that's the social nano rule. I think that's what she does. That they have to have 200 followers.
oh,
But to become a live guest, you got to have live access. So you got to be able to go live. So you know how people come in my room and they're like, I don't have live
got
yet.
it.
You got to be able to go live.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is for sure. You definitely have to have live access to be a guest. Okay. All right. Take care, friend.
Yes.
All right. Bye bye. Let's
Too.
let's see. All right. So Trinetta, I know if you're still in the room, let me make sure that I wasn't misspeaking because I hadn't heard the 200 rule. If that is in fact a TikTok rule, I do know I know about you have to have live access to be able to come up because the rule there. Hello, young Taurus. Appreciate you being here. Um, the rule there is that essentially you're able to monetize. So you want to make sure that you can monetize. Um, so let me know. I am Felicia Roberts. You say yes, we can. Let me know what you meant by that, friend. I might have missed the question I had said or something I said. Side by side for my room. Yes. Okay. Thanks. That was for your room. I used the six box grid. Okay, gotcha. That one. Yeah. So yeah, you can change the size. Where it's 2, 4, 6, 8. How did I change the formats? There's a grid that you can change to. Thank you so much. What is that? The potato sack. That's super loud. Oh gosh, I know. All the way up. Hello, D. Appreciate you. That was definitely something I was wondering about as well. Um, hear her, yes. Oh, you said yes, you can hear her. There we go. Thank you. She was asking if we could hear her. Yes, that's right. Thank you so much. No worries. That's for my room. Gotcha. Okay, yes. I learned about the puzzle piece. It was what happened. You learned being in my life for an hour. Yes, the puzzle piece does pop up, guys, and you just have to slide it over into its place. Also need guests to speak and engage before I consider letting them up. Okay, I like that. Yeah, you got to make sure that there's somebody you want. So Trinana, did you want to come up? I saw where it's I saw where you had clicked the invite. Let me know if you still want to come up, friend. Um, so yeah, I agree. Like you want to probably vet a little bit. Like just make sure. Like are you really a person? You said please. Okay, hold on a second. There you go. Hello. Let me move this down. Hello. How are you?
Lovely. Thank you for letting me come up. A couple of things that I try to do as it relates to people coming up in the box. I let them know up front, this is Social Nana's Chill and Chat.
All right.
We have adult conversations here with live music. And of course, adult conversation means not too adult because it's not that kind of party.
Right.
Okay, I'll let folks know that no, if you're under 18 years old, please don't waste anybody's time because Nana don't take no mess like James Brown. Please don't try to play with me. All right, the next thing I let them know is please be courteous. We don't cuss and fuss in this room. We show each other kindness. And if you can't do that, feel free to scroll on.
Right.
You can play in your room, you can play in your house, but you can't play on Nana's chat. Those are the rules. I do like the sixth grade.
And let me show that to you guys. So I'll set it up so people can see it. So when you do the grids, you actually can switch. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
You can switch to
Sometimes I
be.
use the nine only because if I try to have something to eat, I let my mods handle it and I'm in the background.
Okay. So yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was just showing this the sixth grade. So is this the way you have it laid out on this side, or do you have it onto this on?
Usually it's me on the left.
Gotcha. So it's that grid. Okay, let's change it to that one.
Also, the individuals need to speak when they come in. When you come into somebody's home, don't you speak? You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's just common courtesy. That's called manners. So I let folks know up front. That's what I expect. And I do want to have a little conversation with you because, like I tell my folks, Nana don't let just any and everybody up in her box.
Right.
You can take that how you want.
Right. Right.
But I'm trying to be discerning. If they come up and I let them up and we have conversation, they start cutting up, I will mute them and let them know, hey, we do better here. If you'd like to go, you know, you need to put you in timeout, I can do that. But please be courteous.
So have you had to do that a lot? I guess with your ground rules. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Hopefully they didn't do
I mean,
that.
I let folks know up front.
Right.
And then there are individuals in my chat who are regulars will say up front, Nana don't play.
Right. Right.
Because they're used to that with me at this point. But no, I've had a young man come up a number of times, and he actually reported my page once.
Oh wow.
He was being fresh with everybody. And I told him, I can appreciate that you like to come up in the box, but you've shown me that you don't want to listen and you don't want to comply. So I need you to sit down below. And please feel free to comment all you want down there. I do let the trolls hang out because it actually works towards the algorithm for me.
It does because of the commenting.
I let young man came up yesterday talking about, oh, I see you got on that head rag. When was the last time you made pancakes, etc., so on and so forth, you know? How much do you get paid to do what you do? I mean, all sorts of stuff, but we just laugh. We just laugh at them. I'm like, because you can engage all you want down there, but what you're not going to do is get up in Nana's box and cut up. Very simple, very, considerate. And I have been told by someone in the TikTok community that admins for TikTok, it's okay to have the trolls on. If they're being disrespectful and they're being crazy, that's one thing. Let them go. But for them generally cutting up in down below, it actually helps you. So I let them stay. And I don't really have a lot of problems when they realize that we're just going to laugh at them and give them hugs, which I do. From time to time, I give them hugs. They don't want to feel that. They want to upset people. And I don't let them upset me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It really does not. I mean, I've had what is a young man that comes up every once in a while? His name is Your Mama's Butt Cheeks.
Okay, I haven't seen him.
Yes. And he comes in posting monkeys and bananas and watermelons and stuff like that. I'm like, you play down there all you want, baby. You obviously haven't had any hugs today. Let Nana give you a hug. Come on, we're gonna love on you. And they leave because they want to upset people. We don't let them upset us.
Okay.
It's really that simple.
So Trinity, you're gonna get all these people to come to your room just to see the antics, because I don't let the antics live over here.
Please feel free. I mean, they want some attention, and some of them. I had a young lady come in and say, "I was told to come over here and mess with you." She said, "But I like you. You're nice." So she friended me, and I friended her.
Oh wow. Okay.
No, it's just in how you handle it.
Queen's girl said, "I'm not that together yet." I'm not neither. I'm just gonna be honest with you, Queen's girl. me neither.
Within my first few lives, I experienced stuff like that, and the other folks were like, "How do you do this? You just started that." I'm like, that's just me. Nana is here to love on me, period. Okay, if you can handle it, great. If you can't, that's okay. Keep it moving. I'm not trying to lose sleep over them and their foolishness.
Right.
I come on usually between 8 and 8:30 p.m. until about midnight. But I was up a little late last night, and I wasn't trying to get ready.
Okay. That's right. You can see her when she goes live, but right now she doesn't have the camera on. But she does have that sultry Nana voice. She has the voice like it's a radio talk show, like the Quiet Storm.
Yes, and I appreciate we have the music playing in the background. Now I use Upbeat, so if you want to go to my profile, you can click on that, and you can actually use that application to play music in the background, and it gives you what is it called? When you have to pay them for using
The royalties.
Yes, it's a royalty-free application that you can use, and just every once in a while I'll put it up in where you have sub only live today at 6:30.
Yes.
Sometimes I just put it in one of those. I say Upbeat, use allowed. because I don't want TT to show up talking about you can't do this and so. So I put it up there every once in a while, so
Okay.
they're aware.
Okay.
Well, like I said, it's a peaceful live. We're here for music. We're here to have adult conversation. We don't do politics. Yes, I am a believer in God, but we don't do politics and we don't do religion. Because people have to have a place that they can go online where they can just kick off their shoes, put up their feet, relax, and have some fun conversation.
Okay. I like that.
It's
Yeah.
really that.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Well,
that's,
thank you.
you're welcome, friend. I appreciate you coming up. You brought another perspective to the room about how you treat the bad actors.
Oh yeah, the trolls. Trolls. I love on the trolls like I love on everybody else.
Okay. All right. I will evolve to that at some point, but I ain't there yet.
Take your time. Take your time.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
you too. So yes, friends, let me know if anybody else wanted to come up. You guys are hearing the different questions and perspective. I appreciate you. You said nice. Okay, no sultry Nana. Can you play any type of music? I hear music in a lot of lives. You can't. You gotta be careful about what music you play. I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if TikTok has officially changed the rules when it comes to music because you'll hear people playing music from near like Shopify. I'm sorry, Spotify, Apple Music, or um, I hear people saying, "Hey Siri, change it to this song." And so I'm hearing people playing music. I used to play the YouTube, but I co-stream on the YT, so I don't play it anymore because I'm doing this thing. But with that, I've heard that they're now um, uh, giving violations for music a lot more frequently. So you got to make sure your music is not any copyrighted music. I know for business accounts, you really got to be careful. And then when you have subscribers, my sub people in the room, my people who have subscribers for their lives, you cannot play music at all. Matter of fact, I got a warning for the very first time I did my very first sub live. I got a warning, and so there's no music. It's no music on your sub only content either. So just know that's a no no. How do you know if it's copyrighted? How do you know if it's copyrighted? There's a couple different software. Social Nana, she was trying to remember the one she uses, but my moderator on the YT, she uses Epidemic Sound, and they have music where it has the rights to the music, so you don't have any issues with the copyright infringement. Oh wow, because certain people do it 24/7. Yeah, certain lives, I know. Like I said, I've heard that they're being a little bit more strict with the whole music thing. And I'm assuming it's because, people have gotten totally out of hand with it. But to your point, yeah, certain rooms, especially those engagement rooms, I mean, it's just like a music DJ session. So they're doing a lot of playing music and stuff. I will say, I wouldn't be surprised if some of those rooms, especially the big rooms that have literally DJs and they're playing different music and stuff, they might have gotten that approved. Now maybe that is part of their live brand and what their live stream is all about. So depending on the agency they're with, they may have gotten all that supported. So, but yeah, I've heard more and more people getting violations for their music lately. So Trinae said, go to my profile and click on the Upbeat info. Okay, so the company you use is called Upbeat. Is that what it is? It's called Upbeat. I'm assuming that's what you're sharing. The Tapper does not work with group guest lives. You're asking that question. Does the Tapper work with group lives? I do believe, Happy, you got to move the Tapper to a space like under the live box. Like there's like a little small space or right above the live box that you can use the Tapper. I've done it before. So you can use it in certain spaces. Yes. Okay. So it's called Upbeat. Okay. Or some jazz music. Gerald Albright is who that's who you want to play. Yeah, because I go to a DJ room. Yes. Is instrumental okay? Amanda, you was doing your symbols. Let me know if that was a question. Um, and so, yeah, let me know if you had a question, friend. Um, Hold on one second. You're asking some. It just depends on. Yeah, it just depends on the room. But like I said, I think they've gotten those approved for some of those DJ rooms and what they're doing. Like that's part of their brand identity. So you can't have Amazon or Spotify, Amazon or yeah, Spotify playing in the background. You can, but like I said, I'm hearing that they're issuing more violations. Who was that? I think it was Rhonda. She's come to the live. She got one recently. So that happened last week. She mentioned a music violation. And she was asking questions like, well, what can I play? And we had the conversation about epidemic sound. I said it's probably because it was copyrighted music. So you got to be careful. When I was using music, I was using YouTube. Now, YouTube is not always copyrighted music either. So I was using that as a, just going to different DJ channels and playing some music in the background. But again, like I said, I think with the newest algorithm changes, they're starting to push back on that a lot more. So Tapper does work, but you have to place it carefully. Yes, yeah. Thank you, Nana. Yeah, I was saying that. I think kind of where my sticker is, it has to be like above that space right before you get to the other images, and then right below where the chat it is about placement for the Tapper when you have the group boxes on, but it does work. Not then, but please explain the tapper. The tapper, you're curious about that? So here is a tapper. I'm going to show it to you. I'm not going to cut it on. Well, I'm not going to put it on the screen, but I don't have it plugged in. Hold on. You got to have it plugged in. Let me plug it in. So essentially, what it does is that it'll open. There we go. And it's a little tap, and it'll tap. If you open it up, you see this little clip. It clips to your phone, and this pulsates on your screen. So you'll see the little hearts coming up. You see where someone's tapping the screen, and the hearts are showing up. So it'll start showing up the hearts as it's tapping on the screen. So it'll do that and tap for you, so you don't have to tap, and it helps to run up your engagement. Amanda, I always tell you guys, and you're new. If you're new to my room, let me know because I'll do the whole talk through in terms of your engagement strategy because you want to be engaging the whole time you're in a live. So you got to be careful about just sitting there watching. You always want to be in the comments chatting. You're tapping the screen, sharing the live out. All that engagement, you get points. So it's kind of like if you come to someone's live, you want to make sure you're getting as much out of it as possible, and that is part of the engagement strategy. Instruments and vocals are okay so long as it's not currently popular music. Okay, that's good to know. Now, with your upbeat sound, are you able to? But you're able to play pretty much whatever you want with that particular, um, tool, that resource. I use background from the tube of youngest sometimes. Oh, okay, interesting. I love my tapper. Yes, yes, I like the tapper too. I do. I can't wait for mine to arrive. Look at you all. Tapping, folks, getting your points. But mainly my Upbeat app from my tablet, which I am live on my phone. Okay, gotcha. So you're using your tablet to play your music and you're live on your phone, so it's just playing in the background. And that's essentially what I was doing. I was using my laptop to play the um the YouTube music. And so I just haven't done it as of late. I probably could, to be honest with you, because my laptop's sitting here and I'm on my tablet for the YouTube recording, but I just haven't because I was concerned about kind of like making sure I wasn't violating anything on YouTube by having the music playing. So, but yeah, that's a great strategy. You said I need to order one. You go to Dr. Lisa Shops. My tapper is in the screen. The tapper is in there. You can absolutely order one. It is in my showcase, on my showcase. Can the host tap on screen for our points? So what I don't do, I don't put the tapper on while I'm on this live. I have done it where I was on my Dr. Lisa Shops page and I was letting the tapper play, or my other page. I don't do it often though. I've been in this kind of weird space about my views, what's happening, blah blah blah. So I really have gotten away from that in the last couple weeks, and I'm trying not to kind of commingle the accounts for this one. I don't want this account to get compromised too much in terms of fake engagement or anything like that. So I don't tap my own, I tap my screen. I don't use the tapper for it. So you guys will see me all the time. I will be tapping my own live. You can tap your live. I just don't use the tapper for it. Does it sell on Amazon? Will do. You're welcome, friend. The tapper, are you saying the tapper, does it sell on Amazon? I would think so. I'm not sure though. I didn't check. I checked TikTok. And if you want, you can go to my shop. So yeah, you could do that. You could tap your own screen. Yes. You said, please explain the tapper tool. So essentially, it's a small little pulsating thing, and you see how the taps are going on the side. It just pulsates for you. I'll do it real quick so you guys will see. You'll see the taps will come through. So those are taps that are happening on the screen. And so what will happen, you'll see the pink heart pop up on your side if you're tapping away. The line will start crawling across, and then when you let go of the tapper, the confetti falls once that line crawls all the way across to the other side. And so right now I have the tapper on the screen. So essentially it's doing the tapping for you. It can do it at a faster pace. And so if you press the buttons down, I don't know, I usually keep it at 3. And so I'll change it to just cut it off. There we go. So it just went up to 5. And so it'll just tap it a little faster. So it pulsates on the screen for you as it's tapping for you. You can tap your own screen with your own live. Yes, you can. TikTok shop is where I got mine. Yes, TikTok shop, that's it, yeah. So with the tapper though, I tell people, because you can move it around. You see this arm, it moves around. I'd say move it around on the screen. You don't want to just do it. You want it to seem as natural as possible, where it's not like fake engagement, because people will get in trouble if they just leave it on there and they're not looking like it's real and it's just staying in the same spot. So you want to move it around a little bit. So again, it's supporting you in terms of getting you points for your engagement, but move it around, okay? And that way you take it off for seconds, add it back, put it in a different space, move a little arm, and so that way, again, you're not getting in trouble with TikTok. So it's definitely a helpful tool. Hey there, how you doing, leadership? Hey there. That's a dicey choice. Yeah, with the tapper, yeah, you gotta make sure you don't, look as if you're being, just a robot and doing fake engagement. Thank you. See you at the stuff live. Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate your friend. Yeah, just definitely be careful in that way. Again, it is very much about being as genuine and natural as possible. Thank you so much for being here, friends. Appreciate you all joining. Let me know if there's any questions. We were chatting away. I want to make sure I'm answering any questions. I can see folks around that they get violations. Yeah, the tapper, not as much. I haven't heard people get violations for the tapper. I think if anything, it is because if they're using a tapper, they're using it probably on their own account in terms of fake engagement that way. Like I said, you want to make it so that you're being as natural as possible. I wouldn't use it on my own account. If you're going to use it on a separate account that's yours, and that way that account is coming to your live. I use it. I'll be honest with you. I use it much of my shoppable live when I'm doing my I have my moderator, my other account that's my moderator. I have the tapper on my screen much of that live. And so it's helped. I've noticed it helps, particularly in the beginning. So that's why I do it, because those times when I've had a boost of people in my room, I noticed that I had the tapper on. So that was good. But again, the shoppable live, they typically will send a boost early on because those are people who are looking to shop. So you'll see that as well. Chat as sub live, thank you so much. I didn't know that you can tap on your own live. No one never says that before. Good to know. Yes. And again, ideally, I will tell you this. Ideally, you are tapping early on. You're communicating to your live. You can tap your live. I want people to tell you you can't. You can share out your live. I don't want people to tell you cannot. But the goal is to have other people tap your screen, share your live. You see right here, they get points for that. Now, you don't get points, but you do get the hearts. You get the likes. And it helps the algorithm know that people are here and you're chatting and talking. So when I start my live, I am talking to you all. I am connecting. I'm engaging. I'm saying all those keywords, and I'm intentional about that. Okay. Yes, so your other account, you can come in. So my other account goes to my shop page and it will tap for me and it will be the moderator for me. So it acts as a moderator. Okay, on a separate account. Yes, yes, that's what I would do. Yeah. So I would use it for the separate account. But I just used it in here so you guys saw that I used it. So again, it's not hurting anything. But again, you want your viewers to engage. Got it? Yeah. You always want your viewers to engage. You want them to like your live. You want them to share it out. That is the goal. So it just can't be you doing it. Yeah, it has to be them as well. Let me know. We're gonna wrap things up maybe a little early, only because I have to come back at 6:30. So I want to make sure I do a couple of tasks before I come back. But let me know if you have any questions, friends. I see you all. Appreciate you all coming in and liking a live. Um, we had a great conversation today. Like I said, if you are nervous, scared, shy, if you have any issues with going live, let me know. I want to support you. I want you to feel at ease doing this. It's fine with being a viewer. But what I teach here is to make sure that you feel confident and comfortable becoming a live host so that you can train and support your viewers so that they know how to engage. They know how to interact in your live, and then ultimately you can support them. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer those as well. Thank you, Dr. Lisa. Appreciate you, Queen V. Appreciate you being here. Um, and I will see you. Thank you for the info. You're so welcome. So if you're a subscriber, come on in at 6:30. We'll get to chatting. We'll. I have a couple things I wanted to share. So I have a couple new things that is going on in these TikTok streets. So feel free to come back and listen to any of those updates, as well as making sure if you have questions, it's an ask me anything. Okay. So feel free to ask me anything. We'll come back here to TikTok 6:30, and I'll chat. I'll probably stay up. We'll see, maybe about an hour. I got some homework to do because I have to get prepared for the shop, because I think what I'm going to end up doing is making it a new product niche. So I'm going to have totally new products and maybe not do tech. So I'm still torn about if I'm going to switch or not, but more than likely I will focus on some health and wellness products, and I have to do some homework to make sure I'm not saying things that will get me in trouble and give me violations. So that's the goal. I want to make sure I am able to do it successfully. All right, friends, I appreciate everybody who came into the live. Again, if you have any last minute questions, go ahead and ask. If not, I will see you all tomorrow, unless you're coming for the sub only live. All right, friends, take care. Bye bye. Oh, don't forget to claim your points real quick. So if you got any points, claim them. All right. All right, friends. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you joining the live. Feel free to click the link in my profile on my channel. If you have any questions about going live with ease, I do have my Overthinking to Action guide in there, which is free. It's a free download, so feel free to go get that and make sure you feel confident with your live journey. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.